Alright guys, I've got a mega haul here. These are all really affordable perfumes. Some of them are hardcore cheapies. So some of these perfumes, even at retail, are less than £10. So let's just get going. I'm going to start on a downer because I'm so disappointed with this one. This is not even on Fragrantica yet. This is very new. This is called Sultane Musk Eau de Parfum from Jeanne Arthes. This is one of the ones that's actually aimed at women, although I would argue, you know, this is a musk. It's pretty unisex, and the bottle looks unisex, the box looks unisex. So, but anyway, I think traditionally the ones in these bottles are for women, and on their website it says women. So as you can see here, it's got the notes, so that's actually handy. Solar flowers, powdery accord, cypriol, musk and amber. And I was like, I really like musk, I wanted to try it. And plus I kind of like these bottles, I think they're cute, but and I haven't got any of the others, so I think this is a dark blue bottle. It's got some marks on the front. So this is a Sultane Musk from Jeanne Arthes. Now then, this is a crashing disappointment to me. Because this, I mean, I almost don't want to spray it out again. I'm hoping I can smell it from the cap. It smells like a cleaning product. It really smells like a cleaning product. It has a hint of a musk that is, I would say the closest thing I've smelt to this is the Kiehl's musk. Now, I didn't like Kiehl's musk. That one I didn't keep. It just felt a bit too masculine. It wasn't quite my vibe. But it also, I don't think I thought it smelled like a cleaning product. Maybe I did. But this one truly does smell like a cleaning product. It has that hint of a ambery musk underneath. I think there's more amber than there is musk in this. Look at the booty on this bottle. Check it. Booty! But yeah, a crash. Oh no. And I did try this on my wrist because I thought, you know, with a musk sometimes you're not gonna get anything good from spraying it on paper, but this one truly, this is not for me. This does not smell good on me. In fact, it smells worse on me than it does from the bottle. So yeah, just really smells like a very hardcore cleaning product on me. Really. No, so that was a crashing disappointment, that one. Really didn't like that at all. And then this is a bit of a random one, so I can't even remember if I've talked about this on the channel yet, but I don't think I ever reviewed it. I have a feeling I bought it and I put it away in a box and I thought, all right, it's time to pull this out. So this is Heaven Sent from Dana. So again, really good. Look, it has all the notes and information on the back, which I think is really handy. I love when companies do this. I really wish that they would do this more often. And I think this is probably, yeah, probably the same as what it says here on Fragrantica, but let's take this out. I think this is from, I pulled it out. Yes, this is also from Dana. So I have Chantilly from Dana. This one I think smells a little bit like Shalimar, but like an easier version of Shalimar. I don't really love Shalimar, so this has been on my chopping block for ages, but I haven't managed to get rid of it yet. I haven't even tried to get rid of it yet, to be honest. But this one, I do like the Dana bottles. I think they're cool because look, I mean, to be honest, the whole reason I bought Chantilly in the first place is because although it has a horrible cap, I really love this bottle. It's such a beautiful faceted glass bottle. Same with this one. So Heaven Sent. And I've also heard people refer to both Heaven Sent and this Chantilly as the kind of perfumes that like your grandma would wear to church. You know what I mean? Like your Sunday best perfume. And I kind of dig that. I really like Chanel No. 5 and that kind of thing. So I thought I'd sniff this one out. So the notes in Heaven Sent are apple blossom, mandarin orange, bergamot in the top. The mid notes are rose, jasmine and lily of the valley. The base notes are musk, oak moss, sandalwood and patchouli. So there is something about this I like because it has that kind of clean, baby powdery, old-fashioned kind of smart and clean smelling vibe. Musky, a bit floral, a bit powdery. But man, the oak moss here is out of control. The greenness here is so strong. It reminds me a little bit, not entirely as a scent, because I don't think this is as soapy. This is more baby powdery. But the greenness here reminds me of what I get in white linen from Estee Lauder, and I can't deal with that either. And I think that is like patchouli and oak moss. I think it's the same thing that's putting me off of this. Yeah, there is just a greenness here. I get the same thing in Giorgio Beverly Hills, but I would say if you like Giorgio Beverly Hills, or if you really like white linen, if you like oak moss, if you have no problem with that kind of green patchouli oak moss combination, that kind of classic chypre vibe, but very green, very earthy, and you like baby powder scents, then this is an amazing bargain. Like, it's not for me, which makes me sad again, because I just love these old-fashioned faceted glass bottles. I think they're so pretty. Yeah, I love the vintage style of these, but yeah, I'm just going to have to stick with my Chanel No. 5 and my Le Mans, you know. I just can't be doing with the intense oak mossy smell here. But yeah, if you like that kind of thing, this is an amazing bargain. You get a big bottle, it's pretty strong. And again, like, Chantilly's a really good one as well. If you like Shalimar and you don't want to spend loads of money, try Chantilly. So next up, we have 3 from the same house. Now, I've already got one from this house that I keep at my mum and dad's because I think it smells like a kind of light version of YSL Cinema, and that is a perfume I already have. So I keep that at my mum and dad's, so I haven't got it with me. But let's talk about Tesori d'Orient, I think is how you say it. So we've got Byzantium here. We've got, let's spray this out. We've got Orchidea Imperial here. I think that used to be called China Orchid, and they've changed it. But I think on Fragrantica it's still like Orchidea de China or something, or Sina, something like that. And then we have White Musk. So let's start with Byzantium. Firstly, I am just digging this. It's actually textured. It's really cool. This is sprayed on the bottle. This is a sticker, but it's got this amazing, like, tiled texture, and I really appreciate how cool this bottle is. They are metal bottles, though, so they do feel like deodorants, but they are they actually eau de parfums, these? Let me just have a quick look. They don't come in a box. I don't even know. I don't even know if this is supposed to be eau de parfum, but to be honest, they're all pretty strong. So then, this, you'll know why I ordered this when I read the notes. It sounds very scrumptious. So top notes, almond, cinnamon and mimosa in the top. The mid notes are honey, heliotrope, black rose and ladamum. Base notes, vanilla, cacao pod and white musk, Peru balsam and agar wood, so oud. But this isn't like a funky oud. This is very sweet, honeyed, almond, floral. I'd say the heliotrope's pretty high here. I'm not really getting cacao pod, but there is a very soft, warm spice. It's very sweet. And Byzantium really massively reminds me of Heliotrope Blanc from LT Piver. It has that kind of scent to it. It's got a kind of rich, sweet honey. Interestingly, from the sprayer, I'm getting more cacao, but once I sprayed it out, less cacao. Yeah, so it's got this interesting tone from the ladamum that makes it slightly spicy. Not spicy, leathery. But yeah, it does smell slightly ancient. It does smell old, but not in a bad way. It does smell like something from a bygone era. You can imagine this kind of luxurious, rich, sweet elixir. You know what I mean? Like, I think this one's pretty nice. I ended up giving my Heliotrope Blanc away because I just wasn't wearing it, but I'm going to keep hold of this one. Also, this is in a spray format, so it's kind of easier than the splash bottle that the Heliotrope Blanc was in. But yeah, I mean, this definitely has a slightly ancient smell to it in quite a cool way. So I kind of like Byzantium. What I want to say about this one though is, well, and actually all of these, to be honest, people do talk about them smelling like deodorants, and I don't. I do think that all of the ones I've smelled are very powdery, so I think that might be partly why. It doesn't feel like the texture of actual deodorant, and I don't think they're supposed to be deodorants. I have a feeling they probably make deodorants though, because they do like bath and shower products and stuff too. But yeah, I wonder if it's because they're in metal. They do come across a little bit more like a deodorant, just because the sprayers as well are kind of hardcore like a deodorant. So you got to be a bit careful of these. So next up we've got Orchidea Imperial Orchid. Gosh, oh, this one's very interesting. Okay, so from the bottle, a lot of orange, a lot of mandarin orange. Let me just read you the notes. When I look at this, when I'm editing, I'm going to be really irritated by how nothing is quite symmetrical, but from where I'm sitting, it's really hard to do, so I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, top notes. Orange, mandarin orange and cassis. Mid notes, orchid, tiare flower, jasmine and orange blossom. Base notes, musk, sandalwood, vanilla, myrrh and praline. So, let's sniff this. This smells a little bit similar to J.Lo Miami Glow. But even, possibly, if you can imagine it, even more soapy. Yeah, I think it might be even more intensely soapy than Miami Glow. And that is saying something, because that is a very thick, soapy perfume. It has this kind of bright fruitiness, this floral vibe. There's a touch of sweetness, but not a huge amount. I mean, the fact there's myrrh and praline is interesting, because I'm mainly getting, and I'd say like orange blossom, tiare flower, those kind of slightly buttery, creamy, beachy florals. A lot of orange, a lot of mandarin. I'm not getting any cassis. Musky. Again, a bit powdery, but it's very, very, very soapy. I don't know that I'd say it was shampoo, but it's very soapy. But yeah, it totally reminds me of Miami Glow. Now that's one that I really like the smell of, but again, I got rid of it because it was just very hard for me to wear. I feel like I might get the same issue with this one, but I will give it a try anyway, because I did really like Miami Glow, and every now and again I think about it and I wish that I could get a 30ml of that perfume. You can only get it nowadays in like a massive 100ml bottle, and I'm just never going to get through that much of that perfume because it is so intensely strong. Smells really good in summer, but it's so strong that I almost preferred it in winter. But yeah, this is very similar. It's got a very similar feel and quite a similar smell. So that is the Imperial Orchid. It smells very much like Miami Glow. And then the White Musk. This is interesting. So let me give you the notes. So this is top notes of aldehydes, white flowers and jasmine. Mid notes, powdery notes, rose petals. Base notes, white musk, amber and woody notes. This is a straight up beast. Like, this is very powdery. The aldehydes are huge in this White Musk. It's off the chain soapy, but it kind of smells, it has a real crossover, I'd say, with Chanel No. 5, this one. A real noticeable crossover, and some noticeable crossovers with like No. 5 La Eau as well. It's like a soapy, baby powdery, aldehydic musk. It's good. I like it. I'm going to say that the top comparison here is Jovan White Musk. I could not disagree more. I don't think that Jovan White Musk smells, in fact, anything like this White Musk. The Jovan White Musk, I think, has incredibly buttery florals in it. It has a kind of body lotiony kind of smell. This isn't that. This is really soapy and sparkly and silver is probably the right colour for how kind of fizzy the aldehydes are here, and you don't really get that in Jovan White Musk, but you do get it in the Alyssa Ashley White Musk. This is a bit more in that direction, I would say. It's also compared to the Body Shop White Musk, but I mean, I can't even smell that one anymore, so I can't really comment. I've never really liked that. But this is definitely, I'd say this is a cross between Chanel No. 5 and, an Alyssa Ashley White Musk. It's like you've got the intense aldehydes from Chanel No. 5, and then you've got the underlying vibe of Alyssa Ashley White Musk. And I'm really looking forward to wearing this one. I'm going to give this a go at some point. It's actually a bit strong for this time of year because it's quite warm, but I think this is a little hidden gem. This is a bargain, this one. To be honest, these are all hidden gems depending on what your taste is. Like, I think if you like really sweet, almost syrupy, powdery perfumes, then Byzantium is a real steal. If you like JLo Glow, you're probably going to like this one. But this one, yeah, that's a really good aldehydic perfume if you like aldehydes. Like, this is a good one. All right, I'm going to definitely be wearing that one and giving that one a good proper go at some point. So next up, we have 4 perfumes from a collection from a house I've never tried up until this point. This is, let's see, what are they called? So this is Alvarez Gómez, and these are the fruit tea perfumes from the fruit tea collection. So let's put them up here. I think there's only 4, and I have all 4 of them because I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. But these are very, very cheap, and there's no point in me saying affordable. These are just straight up cheap. They cost me less than £5 each. So I think it's fair for me to say that these are just very cheap. So we've got, let's put them on an angle so they're not catching the light. We've got vanilla tea, cocoa tea, mango tea, and Fresa tea, which I think is Fresa strawberry. I think it's got strawberry raspberry, so maybe it's berries, but yeah, I'll say it's strawberry. So let's look at these, shall we? Now, these aren't Von Fragrantica. Nothing has any notes, so I can't really comment too much about what's supposed to be in them beyond what is pictured. So on here we have they're very cheap little bottles, but again, that's fine because they are cheap. And I'm not going to expect a perfume that costs £5 to have an expensive bottle, of course. So let's start with this one. This is Fruit Tea Vanilla. So, as I said, I've not tried Alvarez Gómez before. I've seen a lot of colognes, though. I know that they have like some really beloved, awesome, incredibly like old classic colognes and perfumes and light kind of sprays, body sprays. And I've been looking at them for ages. Occasionally they have something and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. But because I love tea, I was like, I want to try the tea collection. Please don't take offence if you like Alvarez Gómez, and please do let me know down below which from this collection or from this house are good and what you love. But I hate these. That's why I was so upset about Jeanne Arthes, actually, because I love a good cheapie. Some of my absolute ride or die perfumes, top 10 for life, are less than £10 each. So I've got a couple from the Boom collection I love. Katy Perry's India is one of my all-time favourite. Green tea from Elizabeth Arden. All things that cost me around about a tenner and less, right? So these, I think, though, are cheap and really smell cheap. And I don't believe that that is an aroma chemical. I think they're just very cheap, badly made perfumes. They're really not good. So if we start with vanilla, on the front of this box, there are vanilla, there's flowers, there's vanilla, there's tea, green tea leaves, and there's what looks like black currants, I'd say. So this is so nasty. There might be some people who like this though. This again, like this is, I mean, it's mainly alcohol. And it really smells like it. It's kind of shampooey and screechy. It's very sickly. There is a fruitiness. There is a floral feel. Let me spray this out, even though I'm going to regret it. I mean, luckily they're not very strong, so it's not like my room's going to smell of this. Oh, it's so... Ugh, I mean, it's almost nail polish remover levels of of nasty cheapness when I first spray this. I can taste it. There is... I mean, it's mad that this is called vanilla. There's nothing about this that smells like tea to me. There's fruit, there's flowers. I don't even know if there's anything I can compare this to. It doesn't smell like a perfume. It doesn't even smell like a room spray. It smells like something you'd clean with that's trying to smell like vanilla. Oh, I'm trying to think of something I can compare it to, but I'm coming up blank. It's truly alarming, and I really don't like it. I don't know what else to say about it. So crashing disappointment. But let's move on to the Coco. So I am, to be fair, fussy about vanilla, although, like I said, there's not a huge amount of vanilla in vanilla tea. And I can be quite fussy about coconut, so again, maybe take this with a grain of salt. But this one's better. I still don't love this, but I feel like if you like Le Monde Gourmand, if you like their, I think it's called Lait de Coco, I found that one far too shampooey. I didn't like how that smelt. And this is the same kind of thing. There is a coconutty feel. It's still got a huge amount of alcohol in it. You know what it smells like, in fact? It's so boozy and so un-tea-like. It smells like Malibu. It smells like coconut rum. It's sweet, it's a bit sugary, it is coconutty. Yeah, it smells like Malibu. It smells like coconut rum. Like, a bit syrupy, slightly sickly, coconut rum. Maybe if you layered this with something that was like pineapple, you could get a cool pina colada, but it's... Okay, so I'm going to be fair. The Coco is a billion times better than the vanilla. The vanilla... I'm not even going to try and sell it. I'll give it away, and I need to give it away to someone I'm not going to see very often, because like that is, for me, almost worthy of just throwing in the bin. The Coco is better. I wouldn't want to wear this, but it's a little bit less screechy, a little bit less cleaning producty. But yeah, it totally smells like Malibu, which is kind of funny. So let's move on to the mango. I was looking forward to it because I love mango, and it's really hard, genuinely, to find a good mango perfume. This isn't a good mango perfume. Oh, it's very screechy in a shampooey way. Again, extremely alcoholic, but not in a deliberate way. I think the Coco one, you can get away with it. It almost smells like it's supposed to be boozy. This one, even though it's supposed to be tea, there is no tea going on here. I don't know why it's called tea. No. The mango note here is okay. Everything else in this, I think there's probably some kind of florals here. They're very harsh, screechy, shampooey. Absolutely not, but I really hate shampooey perfumes, so to be fair, just not for me. It's not as offensive as the Trocadero from Maison Heritage that I reviewed a while back, but it's almost that kind of level of screechy cheap. It smells like the cheapest mango shampoo you could buy. So, no. And then this one, which is kind of strawberry. From the bottle, this one, it still smells like rubbing alcohol or something, but it's got a decent strawberry note in Fresa. So when I first spray this, it's actually very nice sugary berries. Like, genuinely, it's got this kind of... Once the alcohol is dissipated, it is like raspberries and strawberries with lots of granulated sugar. And maybe a bit of lemon, actually. And at that point, it's kind of good. It kind of works. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, there's one of these that works for me. Hallelujah. I think there's cherry in here as well. Do you think that looks like a cherry? I think it looks like a cherry. But the more it dries down, the more it just turns screechy into a shampoo. Again, yeah, kind of head-splitting, sharp shampoo with some sugary berries. It's just, these were so disappointing. It's very strange to me that these are called the fruit tea collection, because there is nothing tea-like in any of these. No, they just smell cheap and nasty. Absolutely not Fusspot approved. These are not the kind of thing that I could ever wear. So we are going to say goodbye to these now, and I'm sorry. I'm really sad that not a single one of these worked for me, and this house is obviously just, I mean, it might just be this range, but to be fair, because I have to get these from Europe, I'm just not going to try these. I'm just not going to try more of these. So I think my Alvarez Gómez test was an absolute bust, I'm afraid. But anyway, let's move on to something new. Alright, so next up we have 3 Middle Eastern perfumes. Now, I don't normally talk about Middle Eastern perfumes because I often have a problem with the kind of aroma chemicals, but I made an exception for a few things here. I'm going to start with the one that I absolutely knew was never going to stay in my collection, and I entirely bought this one just to review it on the channel because it was on such a mega sale at Notino. I feel like this was only £15, so I wasn't worried about being able to make my money back if I just, like, you know, even if I pass this on for like a tenner, it's worth it just to try it on the channel. So the box is massive. This is Pistachio Kunafa. Is that how you say that? Dubai chocolate, pistachio Kunafa from Anfar. I've never tried this brand before. I don't know if they're part of a bigger brand. I know that a lot of brands like Paris Corner and Lattafa and all of those, I feel like sometimes they're just like little offshoots of the same, of like a big brand. But anyway, that's absolutely monstrous. Huge. So the box is bigger than the bottle, but the bottle itself is pretty chunky, but kind of cool. So here we go. Pistachio Kunafa. I'm sorry if I'm getting that hideously wrong all the time. Can you actually see it? Okay, so this guy, wow. This is top notes of pistachio and caramel, mid notes of sesame, tonka and cardamom, base notes of chocolate, vanilla, amber and powdery notes. And it is very gourmand, as you can imagine, but there is still that perfumey quality in here. So let's spray this out. I mean, this is not for me. This is definitely not for me. It has to be said though, when I sprayed it out on paper, I didn't think, ugh, which I often do with extreme gourmands. But what I really didn't like is this on my skin. On my skin, this is a little bit of a disaster. I think this is a bit leaky as well, this one. That's a bit of a bummer. Yeah, I think that top's a little bit leaky. But hardcore actual pistachio, which is nice because I think a lot of perfumes that say they have pistachio in don't really smell like pistachio. This one really does smell like pistachio. There's a hint of chocolate, but this is a difficult one because, like, when I talk about chocolate, I'm from the UK, so my version of chocolate is the European and British chocolate, which is very full of cream. It's not necessarily quite as sugary. Although a lot of European chocolate actually is very, very sugary. But this is very sweet because of that caramel. So it doesn't have... So for instance, like Lindt used to make this most amazing pistachio chocolate bar, which is milk chocolate with a pistachio cream and a whole pistachio in each little square. Oh my, the heaven that was. This is much sweeter than that. The sesame gives it the kind of the feel, because I have eaten Dubai chocolate and it's far too sweet for me. I don't love it. But I love the texture, and I love... So I love like baklava, and I love pistachio, and I love that kind of syrupy, the honey, oh, and the texture. I love baklava. But I think maybe just with the chocolate with it, and just the extreme sweetness when it's got chocolate as well, sometimes it's a bit much for me. So this is too much for me. And honestly, this smells absolutely poisonous on my skin. I don't know what my skin brings out in this, but it doesn't smell good on me. It smells hideous on me. But on paper, it's a tasty gourmand that has almost like a kind of... The sesame gives it like a kind of biscuity cereal smell, but it's not extremely biscuity. This is low-key biscuity even compared to like the Sol de Janeiro ones that have kind of popcorn or, you know, the nuts in there. It's a little bit more low-key on the biscuity scale than that. It's warm, it's incredibly sweet. If you love very sugary gourmands, very nutty sugary gourmands, you are going to adore this. It is absolutely not my kind of thing, but it was fun to smell it. This is actually far less a kind of offensive to my nose than I thought it would be, because I've tried some of the very sweet gourmands from Middle Eastern brands, and they're so overwhelming to me, even sprayed on paper, that they've always been like instant headaches. This doesn't give me an instant headache. It's not so strong that it's like upsetting, but it is quite strong on my skin. So not for me, but I think some of you guys are going to absolutely love Pistachio Kunafa. I think that one is definitely going to be popular with a lot of people. It's too gourmand for me, really. So the reason I was ordering anything from Latino in the first place is because I wanted to try this bad boy. This is the most ostentatious presentation. Oh my goodness. Again, I was waiting for it to be a good price. I didn't want to pay like 30 quid for it. I wanted it for less. So check this big boy out. Woof! It's absolutely huge. So opens like this. Very over the top packaging. This comes up. There's the bottle. So it's doing really interesting things with my lights here. But yeah, it's kind of fabulous. I showed my husband and he was like, ooh, so fancy. I was like, yeah, it was like 20 quid or 25 quid or something. So North Stag Expressions. This is, I think this might be Paris Corner. Is it Paris Corner? I don't know. So this is called North Stag Expressions for QUATRE, which is too many things, too many words. Silly. But anyway, the bottle weighs a ton. The thing with some of these Middle Eastern brands, these bottles could be used like weapons. They're so heavy. Like, they're huge. So this is number 4, QUATRE. Not sure. It's got this big shiny kind of diamond thing on the top, this big crystal. I bought this for one very specific reason. People were saying it smelled like Fanta, and I wanted it. I wanted something that smells like Fanta. I find it really difficult to find orange perfumes that don't have orange blossom in. And because I have Sun from Lush. That one, though, has mimosa and sandalwood, so it's not just an orange perfume. I am currently waiting for the body spray from the Body Shop called Satsuma. They've got that back on limited edition. But I just wanted to smell this. So the notes are mandarin orange in the top, mid notes are Sicilian orange, bergamot, and then the base notes ginger. There is nothing in this perfume that should bother me. And I like it. It does smell like Fanta. To be honest, it smells a bit more natural than Fanta. It feels rude to say it smells like Fanta, because I think it is a little bit more natural than that, but this is fun, it's bright, it's zingy. I think the ginger in here is what is stopping it from being 100% Fanta, but there's nothing in here that is bothering me in terms of either crazy aroma chemicals. It goes through maybe a tiny bit of smelling like, maybe there is like a bit of ambroxan in here, maybe a bit more than I'd normally love. And when I sprayed it on my skin, it was a little bit like, oh, maybe that won't work. But then it kind of calmed down, and as it got lighter, I started to really like it again. So I'm definitely going to have to try and give this a big full wear test. I have sprayed it on my skin and tested it, but I think if you're just looking for a fun orange perfume that genuinely doesn't smell like flowers, it doesn't smell like wood, it doesn't smell like anything other than orange, and it's not hardcore, it's not quite into the Jolly Rancher kind of incredibly sugary, because it still has a little bit of that acidity, but I think it's really good. I like this one. So yeah, I'm going to test that one out now that it's getting warmer. So I'm going to be putting it back in this absolutely hunking box, and then giving that a try. So that was North Stag Expressions number 4 QUATRE from Paris Corner, apparently. Okay then, last but most definitely not least, we have Paris Corner's Rifaaqat. So I was really chuffed because I didn't want to buy a massive bottle of this because I only wanted it to compare to Baby Cat. So this is, I think, a 10ml pen spray, and I was so chuffed. I'm like, I need more of this. Oh, it's 15ml actually, and it was only about £5 or £6. So I really want more of this from the Middle Eastern brands. I really want to be able to buy a small pen spray so I can test it and not have to buy massive bottles like you've just seen. It's just so much easier to see if you like it. But anyway, and happily it's a spray. So, Rifaaqat versus Baby Cat. Now, I know that this is really divisive, this perfume, and people get very passionate about it. And in fact, it's always a bit scary, to be honest, to talk about Middle Eastern perfumes, because the times when I get the most aggressive and angry comments on my videos is when I'm talking about Middle Eastern perfumes, but they are also the things that I get the most views on. So it's like, I kind of am resistant to doing them a lot of the time, just because people really get butthurt if I don't like them. But at the same time, like, people clearly want to see Middle Eastern perfumes, right? I'm never going to do loads of them, but occasionally there are things I genuinely want to try. And so Rifaaqat, because I really love Baby Cat, I got this partial bottle second hand because there's no way I could afford to buy Baby Cat new. Obviously, they've just repackaged this, rebranded it, and bought it out in a slightly different bottle, I think, or the same bottle with a different label. As far as I can tell, it's exactly the same perfume, but anyway. So Baby Cat, leathery, smoky, yummy, vanilla. Rifaaqat, I mean, to my nose, very similar. Very similar. So some people think this smells just like it. They think it's a really good dupe. Other people get burnt rubber from Rifaaqat. So I'm someone who gets burnt rubber just generally from a lot of perfumes, both designer and Middle Eastern and niche. Like, well, yeah, all of them, in fact, anything. Let me just... Oh, that went everywhere. This has got a big sprayer. So, it's not identical to Baby Cat. Definitely not identical. But my goodness, it's close. It's definitely close. I'm not personally getting, like, too much burning rubber here. It just smells very leathery. Let me just have a sniff of Baby Cat. So Baby Cat just has a stronger vanilla. It definitely has a stronger, slightly richer vanilla, even though I do find Baby Cat vanilla to be slightly sheer, which is one of the things I love about it. I think Paris Corner's Rifaaqat is equally as sweet, but it's not as vanillic, is my main difference here. So the notes listed for Rifaaqat are black pepper, elemi and pink pepper in the top notes, mid notes of olibanum and saffron, base notes vanilla and cedarwood. And this one is almost like a less sickly version of Oh the Audacity from Penhaligon's. So that one I get a little bit more of the kind of suede-y notes and less of the vanilla, but then that has like a caramel in it, so it's even sweeter, way sweeter and more syrupy, and to me very like a sickly version of Baby Cat. This one feels like it's almost as sweet as Oh the Audacity, but it's not as sickly. It doesn't have that syrupy caramel smell, but it also doesn't have quite the strong vanilla that's in Baby Cat. But apart from that, I think this is really good. This is maybe more peppery, but I think this is nice. Like, I would fully recommend anyone who likes the idea of Baby Cat, who can't find an alternative that's affordable, because, like, I mean, Ropion, bless him, has made this same perfume for like 3 different houses now, I think. Pretty much the same thing, just with a few tweaks, but all those houses are quite expensive, so it's like 3 different takes on pretty much the same perfume, but they're all expensive. Rifaaqat is, I think, considerably nicer than the dupe I've smelt, for instance, from Perfume Parlour. I love Perfume Parlour, but I wasn't keen on their dupe of Baby Cat. That one I did get a little bit of a rubbery feel from, but this one, this is peppery, it's smoky, it's sweet. It is a bit medicinal, but then I get that in Baby Cat as well, and I don't at all mind that. I do think if this just amped up the vanilla, but having said that, I'm going to put this away. I'm going to put it in a nice cold box, store it away now that the air has hit it, and I'm going to see how it develops, because maybe that vanilla will get stronger and maybe it will smell more and more like Baby Cat. Yeah, let's end this on a positive note, guys. I think Rifaaqat is a really good alternative to Baby Cat. But I do advise, if you can, getting a sample or getting this 10ml. I got this from Notino, because some people do think this really smells like rubber, and I know some of my beautiful viewers have said that it smells like rubber to them, and they're not necessarily people who are really sensitive to aroma chemicals and stuff, so obviously this is a bit of a divisive perfume, but yeah, I think this is really good. I was super happy when I smelt this, because I do like to be able to give you affordable alternatives to stuff that's ridiculously expensive. Like, this is just stupidly expensive, this perfume. And so if you can get like a 15ml for about £5 or £6, then oh my goodness, do that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to see how this one goes. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't take it personally if I absolutely hated things that you like. We all have totally different tastes. We all smell things differently. But please do let me know if you have any of these, if you like any of them, or if you have anything else from these houses that you think is really good. And I will see you soon. I'm just sniffing away at Rifaaqat. I think it's kind of good. All right, bye guys.